And welcome everyone then, once again, to yet another series. Back Koala, playing up in the north with the Gujaras versus Whitecourt, playing down the south with the Chinese in the blue and red colors, respectively. For the blue player civilization, the Gujaras will provide them with 2 additional berry bushes underneath the TC. He's gonna have, on top of that, the ability to garrison herdables inside the mill. And for the Gujaras, we also get 20, 30, and 40% extra bonus damage from mounted units against enemy units, and I think that's going to be about it for the most part. He does have, for the team bonus, faster producing camel and elephant type units. Down the south, Whitecourt, playing with the Chinese, will instead begin with 3 extra villagers at the expense of 200 food and 50 wood at the beginning. He also gets, with this civilization, 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support from the TC. And for the team bonus, the Chinese will get 10% extra food on farms for free. Before I forget it, he also gets 10, 15, and 20% cheaper technologies in the castle, in the field castle and Imperial Ages, respectively. And let's take a look at the map generation. So, Back Koala, as you are correctly pointing out, does have the main goal forward, but he does have a secondary goal in the back. Secondary stone is in the back too, but very far away. And it seems like he's getting some good scouting information, though. He's got the scout roaming around there, the camel scout. So if you realize about this, could potentially go for something like this. The main stone is on the left-hand side. The secondary goal, the remaining one is towards the southwest over here, so very far away. But that gold, this one over here, should be pretty easy to secure. He just needs to go for something like from here to here, and maybe if he wants to protect the berries, here to here as well, and he's gonna be fine, right? Shouldn't be too expensive either. The blue player, on the other hand, red player, sorry. you probably imagine. He's gonna have the main goal on the back, which is good. He's got the main stone in the back as well, and it shouldn't be too difficult for him to get the walls up, right? From here to here, perhaps, something like this. And like this. Yeah, and then he would be able to secure both the goal and the stone. Berries are kind of exposed, yes, but I don't think they are going to be any worse compared to the berries that we saw from Back Koala. The secondary goals are going to be on the left and right hand sides, very far away for the red player. Meanwhile, the stone, the secondary stone, is going to be forward as well, so very exposed. I would say I like the map generation for the red player a little bit more, but I don't think this is too terrible for Back Koala, because once again, if he does go for the walls from woodline to woodline, he will be able to secure the stone in the goal, and it will be kind of the same compared to what Whitecourt will be able to secure himself as well. The only difference is that Back Koala's walls over here, if he connects the wool lines, will be a little bit harder to protect, right? Because he'll have to bring the villagers all the way around just to try and repair this one, and it could potentially get breached. That'll be about it, I think. Alternatively, you can also just go for the walls like this instead. But that's not going to protect the stone, right? This reminds me of the Olympics when I stole a boar and 6 sheep from Back Koala. The AO Olympics? Are you going to play in the Nations Cup, Rosa? Anyway, before the game started, when we were waiting for the next series to be shared, we were talking about New Year's and New Year's resolutions. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can chip in as well. This video is coming up on the 3rd, I think. I think this video is coming up on the 3rd. But yeah, I was just telling the guys, I do have some New Year's resolutions for 2023, and I'm trying to be realistic about it. I decided I'm going to try and start playing the game a little bit more seriously once again. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I've been focusing on casting for the most part for the last couple of years, and I haven't actually played too much, so I'm gonna try and get back. First off, we're gonna try to get back in shape, and ideally we're gonna try to improve, alright? So my resolution in terms of gameplay for 2023 is to play more days than not on a weekly basis. That means 4 out of 7 days a week. And because the year is going to have 52 weeks, that should result in about 208 games that I would want to play. So that's going to be my goal for gameplay. If I exceed that, all the better. But it's going to be the minimum. And do you guys have any resolutions in terms of gameplay for 2023? Would you like to maybe pick up on one of the other games from the franchise? Age of Empires 3, Age of Empires 4 perhaps? Are you looking forward to Age of Mythology Retail? Are you going to pick that one up? Although we don't really know when that one is coming out. I would like, if 2023 goes well, to pick up Age of Empires 4 in 2024. Assuming that the franchise is still going strong in 2024, of course. I would imagine it most likely will. But anyway, let's take a look. The field age is already here for ball players. Whitecourt's got an archer range. Meanwhile, Bad Koala, he's got an archer range as well. Both these players will be going for the same stuff. The LT time for Whitecourt is actually not too bad. 36 seconds over here because we have 3 seconds for Bad Koala as well. That's going to result in 23 seconds of total idle TC time for Whitecourt compared to Bad Koala, of course, or a delta of 23 seconds rather. And yeah, in the end, the bull player is going to go for the walls from the wall line towards the edge of the map on the left hand side as opposed to on the right hand side. So yeah, he will be able to protect the goal over here, but not so much the stone. And this could provide Whitecourt with an opportunity. We'll see if he realizes about it. He's gotta be careful. Alright, let's go, Rosa. You're going to play the Nations Cup. Nice. And then what else? So that's for gameplay resolutions, right? In trying to keep the resolutions related to Age of Empires 2, I do have some resolutions for 2023 in terms of work, content creation, right? And that is to finally put to practice all the stuff that I've been learning through 2021 and 2022 to improve my stream. So a few of the things that I've been talking about in the past few months or in the past few years actually, I would like to finally bring to fruition. So I'm talking about the panel with the civilization bonuses over here. I want to implement that. I want to implement a custom draft client that is going to blow your socks off. That's the goal anyway. And I don't know if I'll be able to implement a chatbot for the stream. That'd be great. We'll see. It seems like it might be a little bit too advanced for what I'm able to do, but I would like to give it a shot in any case, so that the experience watching the live stream is going to be better, and watching the videos on YouTube as well is going to be better because of the panel information and whatnot. And for my stream in general as well, I want to bring animations and sound effects that you guys are going to be able to redeem channel points for, ideally, so you can actually make use of those things. And those are the things that I can think of anyway. There we are. So far, looking a little bit better for Whitecourt. It's got a lot of extra units over here. Backwalla's got a defender's advantage though, so it shouldn't be too bad for the bull player overall. Still Whitecourt, 5-3 KD. And down the south, we see a market on the way for Whitecourt's economy is looking really good. He might be able to go up to the castle age very soon. Oh, I forgot to mention though, 2023 is gonna be huge for tournaments too. I want to have 2 tournaments in 2023. One that I've been kind of kicking and postponing since 2021, the Tiny Mapness tournament, remember? That one is gonna be good. And I want to have Terra Nova 2 as well. That is going to be the pinnacle of my career as a content creator and tournament organizer. Terra Nova 2 is going to have the most out of anything that I have made for any tournament. It's going to have the highest production quality. At the very least, that is the goal. The most interesting settings, the most competitive games as well. And if all goes well, the highest quality in terms of video as well. Hopefully. So yeah, you can see 2023 is quite ambitious. And we'll see if I'm able to do that. And this is without taking into account the goals that I have that are not related to Age of Empires or content creators, such as studying, right? I want to advance in my computer science education, as well as learning German this year as well. So there's a lot of stuff to do. But that's what keeps me going. I'm just a sucker for learning stuff and for doing something new. And I think 2023 is going to be great. Just to be abundantly clear over here, I'm not really a person who believes in New Year as a special time. Particularly speaking, I'm also not the type of person to celebrate like birthdays and like Mother's Days or whatever, right? I don't think dates are a good indication for anything, but it just so happens to be the case that New Year specifically is usually going to mark the beginning of a lot of things, like for instance courses. There are a lot of new stuff that are going to begin in 2023, so I'm just going to kind of use it as an excuse to get it going. But anyway, Castle Age is here. Whitecourt did go up significantly earlier. Back Koala is still about 35 seconds away. There we go. Back Koala, man, is so far behind in terms of military count. We have the Crossman upgrade over there already for Whitecourt. Back Koala only now gets to the Castle Age. And here comes Whitecourt. He's got a second TC on the way now as well. Back Koala is gonna be in the Field Age very soon, the Castle Age very soon. He's got him there actually just a moment ago. Potentially go for a second TC himself as well. You can go for one over here to provide protection to the Lumberjacks and the Gold Miners. We'll see. One villager down. Two villagers total going down here to the bull player. Or from the bull player to the red player's crossbows. And here comes Whitecourt. Is gonna try and break through. Back Koala will have the Shrivamsha Riders here. But can he make it work? No, he needs to break through! It would have been so much better for him to just break through and come in and try to use the choke point by now. Now he's getting surrounded. He's trying to trade for the archers, and in any case, he's going to come out on top, right? He's taking all the archers down. And who comes up? Comes out on top over here in terms of trades. It seems like it's going to be fairly even. In the end, it's going to be at 19 to 17 KD ratio, still favoring the red player. Still keeps on going for more crossbows, but he'll need something else. He'll need pikemen. He's not going for it. There's a C on the way for Whitecourt. There's a C on the way for back Koala. In the end, he does not go in for the second TC forward, as opposed to protecting one of the back resources. Because it's already walled off, it's understandable, right? That he prefers to go for the TCs elsewhere. Probably would have preferred for the bull player to try and go for the TC elsewhere. Maybe a little bit further forward. Shrivamsha Riders will go down over here. The crossbows had the choke point already. So yeah, definitely would have preferred for the bull player to try and get a TC up probably over here instead. In front of the stone as opposed to on the back of it, but it's just nitpicking. Strange +2 for Shrivamsha, in my humble opinion, forging will be better. I would agree with you. They do not really struggle too much in terms of defenses against archers. If you get the attack upgrades, it's gonna allow you to take the units down faster. There we go. Here come the Shivansha Riders. He's gonna try and take the crossbows. He cannot do it. Too many units from the red player. Koala gets pushed away. So, up in the north, there is a siege workshop coming in from Koala. I'm not really sure if he's going to commit to it, though. No. He deletes it right away and goes back. So, he's gonna try and get this one up over here. Let's see. Where are the crossbows? That's a good amount. But there's a lot of Shivansha Riders. Now the blue player finally has the numbers he needs to take on these units. So let's see. He's coming in. He's gonna try and bank on the agility to take on the crosses over here, even when fighting underneath the TC. And in the end, it seems that the crosses are going to be struggling big time. This round coming out from the Shivansha Riders is quite effective, and even though we saw a villager over there trying to get the quick walls and fabricate the choke point for the crosses to work out of, still the blue player is going to end up clearing the units up over here, or at the very least chunking a bunch of these units down. So he ends up getting cleaned up. In any case, Whitecourt's not going to be left at enough crossbows to keep on roaming around forward and putting any pressure whatsoever. Yes, sir. Stable. On the way now for Whitecourt, so he's gonna start adding camels into the mix, and honestly, could be just knights. He's got the one knight already, and he's got another one queued up, so it doesn't need to be camels. It can be just knights. Still going to be stronger than the Shivansha Rider. Still on the way now for Koala. Amount of pressure from Koala now with the mangonels in addition to the Shivansha Riders. And the monks over here. He does have all the pieces of the puzzle to crack the... Yeah, to crack the puzzle here. Let's take a look. He's got the hill advantage over there as well. That's huge. The knights, of course, they will struggle as the monks are over here. Koala needs to keep on going for more. He does have more monks. He needs to send these 4 though. Got only 2 forward. And here comes the engagement. We see the conversions coming out, but now the knight is being targeted by the monk over there. Now the Shivansha Riders trying to get the crossbows down. They are going to get an effective round going, but the knights are still very much alive. And it takes a while for the knights to get converted over there. Up until this point, the Shivansha has already run out of agility, and the crossbows do end up taking down a good chunk of units from Koala, and now we see knights coming over as well. Bunch of villagers over from Koala. He does not have enough resources to go for a castle, so I'm not really sure what this is for. But in the end, Whitecourt's able to survive over here. He's got the hill advantage. If he plays his cards right, should be able to push Koala away. And there we go. The castle's on the way now for Whitecourt as well. There we are. Nice mango snipe over there. The castle is coming up for the red player no matter what, though. The Shivansha Riders are not going to be enough over here to get too many villagers down, so it doesn't seem like it's coming in at a great price. The mana in the end is going to be what's dealing the most damage over here, and I think only about 3 villagers went down. Was the one over here? Another one over here. 2, 3, okay, 4. Villagers went down, trying to get the castle up over there. Might have been a little higher actually, depending on the eco KD. But from the ones that I could see, it was not a particularly expensive castle. And this puts Whitecourt in a pretty good spot now with a hail over here. It's going to be significantly harder for Koala to keep on putting pressure. Now, mind you, if you take a look at the worker efficiency in the last minute, it's going to favor the bull player because Whitecourt sent the villagers over to the center to get the castle up. He was not working so well, right? we take a look at the gather economy time. Despite the fact that both these players are very close in terms of overall villager count, it seems like Whitecourt was able to keep his economy working a little bit better so far throughout the game. He's gotten about 20, actually about 50 minutes, sorry, of extra gather economy time compared to Bad Koala. He's gotten a better KD as well, so the fact that Bad Koala has almost enough resources to click out to the Imperial Lich over here is nothing short of amazing, because Whitecourt should be in a much better position. He's got the better KD, he's... especially with the units he's been trading, right? For the most part, crossbows, he's been trading for Shivansha Riders and Monks and Mangonels. You would expect Whitecourt to be in a better position, but Bad Koala is very close to having enough to go up. Hey, Hots! Hi, welcome. I guess it's probably going to be because of the herdables. Where is Emil? Oh, he didn't garrison anything. Okay. Interesting. Oh no, he's got it here. 8, okay. Well, that is good. That is going to amount to 800 resources after half an hour. Well, give or take, actually is not quite as good as that. But it's going to be more than 600, for sure. Let's see. Conversion's coming up. Kind of connected, and the mark goes down to the crossbows. Immediately gets deleted. The castle drop from Whitecourt could be absolutely game deciding. This castle is going to deny not only this goal, but it's going to make it much, much trickier for the blue player to continue collecting from this one, right? Especially as if Whitecourt manages to get to the Imperial Lich, gets Racer, the castle alone is going to push the villagers away from the gold. So let's take a look. You count the villagers. That's a lot of knights. That's a lot of crosses over here from the red player as well. The engagement is going to take place. Camels over there are abundant from the blue player, but the crosses should be able to take care of the camels. And so long as the unit control is good for Whitecourt, he should still be able to come out on top, and he will come out on top. Not enough camels over there whatsoever from Bad Koala. So Whitecourt pushes the rest of the Shivansha Riders away. The only army left for Bad Koala. I think military units right now. Certainly not looking strong enough to fight against Whitecourt's incredible push with over 4 times the military count. Whitecourt on 28-7 military units against Bad Koala is in a very darn good spot. And he does manage to scrap enough resources together, or very soon is going to manage to click up to the Imperial Lich. While on the right hand side, we see Bad Koala try to go for a sneaky raid. I don't think he'll be able to do too much though, so long as Whitecourt's paying attention. Yeah, it's unlikely that Shivansha Riders are going to do too much, and in the end, Bad Koala brings these units back, so it doesn't matter. And that's another castle on the way, on the little hill, on the little mound. With Bad Koala's base. And it's coming up for sure. Whitecourt still has a good amount of knights and crosses to defend with. They are the same player. I'll fix the scoreboard. Actually, not the scoreboard, sorry, the player name over here in the next game, alright? But this is what he's going by as his gamer tag, the same as Whitecourt with the HR prefix, and I have just updated the scoreboard to show the names they are known as, but not to confuse anyone, I'm going to also switch Sneaky Koala to Bad Koala from the scoreboard. I'm sorry, from the stats page in the score page. Or the score widget. Peerless gonna be here for both these players. Whitecourt does have a significant head start to it. About 20 seconds gonna be enough for him to get already a few trebuchets under production, while Bad Koala on the other hand on a single castle will not be able to catch up in production potential. So Whitecourt should be in a pretty darn good spot. Let's keep on putting pressure though. There we go. Imperial Age is here for Whitecourt, the back Koala. Comes to GG as he was back in the Imperial Age to allow him to free himself of the castles. With the red player getting there earlier, there are no chances for back Koala to come back into the game. So well played. 1-0 in favor of the Chilean player. We can also try and add the flags, perhaps. Wait. Aren't the stats supposed to show up with old Shift S? Okay, whatever. For military, we have a stronger KD for Whitecourt. In the end, it's going to be a little bit higher than 7-4 even. For economy, a stronger economy for Whitecourt. Going to about 4,400 extra resources. And the stronger villager max count for Whitecourt as well. And that's going to be about it for the most part. So let's just go back. Oh no, it was Control Alt S. My bad. Shut up, Nova. I always forget to disable that whenever I play it. Let's check. That was Arabia going in favor of Whitecourt. And for civilizations, we saw the Gujaras versus the Chinese. There we go. And game number 2 we're going to jump into in a moment. But give me a second. Sorry about that. You know how it is. I'm fixing the scoreboard right now. Back Koala versus Whitecourt. Alright, beautiful. Whitecourt, I believe he is Chilean. And back Koala, I believe he is Chinese. Is it Chinese or was it Vietnamese? There was a player. No, Bad Boy is Vietnamese. Back Koala is Chinese. I think this should be good. If anybody realizes I am talking crap over here, let me know. But this should be good. Let's go for game number 2. There we are. Welcome everyone to game number 2 then. We have the flags up. Nice. What do we get then? For these players, taking a look at the south, we're gonna see back Koala playing with the Japanese in the blue color. This is Houseboat for the map for game number 2. With the Japanese, he's going to benefit from 5, 10, 15, and 20% faster working fishing ships with twice the HP and plus 2 pierce armor, and the faster collection rate is going to depend on the age, right? So in the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages, respectively. You get a 50% discount to drop off buildings, 33% faster. Attack an infantry and starting in the Field Age. And for the team bonus, the Japanese will also get 50% extra line of sight on galley units, galley line ships. So galleys or galleys galleon, they will get extra vision. This should be pretty good. We could see, for instance, one dock coming up. We're going to take a look at the map generation in a moment, but let's go through Whitecourt civilization bonuses first. What do we get for the red player? We'll see 66% faster research in ages. On top of that, for Whitecourt, we have 30 and 40% cheaper battle elephant line units in the castle and Imperial Ages. And for the Malay, we're gonna have for there we go, for the rest of the bonuses, 33% cheaper fish traps that provide 300% additional food, and for the team bonus, twice the line of sight on docks. Taking a look at the map generation, starting with the red player actually, we'll see that he's got no back resources almost. The stone, the gold, the berries are side-ish on the right-hand side, and then they're going to be side-ish on the left-hand side as well in the same order. So if he wants to go for the small walls like this, he will only be able to, honestly, not even secure the wall line, because some archers or a tower from here, there we go, would still be pretty good, right? Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be kind of rough. He's gonna need to go for something like this instead, just to secure these resources. Taking a look at the potential for vision, this is what really gets me excited about the melee. If you go for as much of a single dog forward over here, and you want to have 2 dogs at the very least to play on this map, he would get enough vision to spot any dogs coming his way from, you know, from the front. So it's pretty good. Having twice the vision is absolutely fantastic. Taking a look at the map generation for back Koala instead, we're going to see for the Wolf player that he's got actually some resource on the back. For the most part, it's going to be stone. Then he's got some gold over here, he's got some gold over here. And the interesting thing is that it would be actually pretty easy for him to go for walls like this, and then like this, and he will be able to secure a lot of this, right? 2 golds, 2 stones. The bird is not so much, doesn't matter, he's got fishing, so it's okay. And even the wood line, which is fantastic. But notice that he's gone already for a dock on the right hand side over here. My suggestion would have been to go for a dock outside and use this one for fishing instead, or potentially on the right hand side. And once he gets to the fuel H, try to go for 1 galley and use the galley to patrol from here to here, right? And then because of the galley having 50% extra line of sight compared to standard galleys, you will be able to not only spot any 4 villagers coming over from this direction, but potentially even stop any docks from coming up, right? Because of the galley being the only navy unit, to effectively be able to target units behind foundations, while the fire galley wouldn't be able to prevent the dock from coming up, for instance. So yeah, it's interesting for sure. He's decided not to go for that instead. We'll see how that works out. Oh yeah, boy, I'm going to have my tea. There we go. FLH is on the way for both these players, of course. Whitecourt, as you'll be expecting, is going to be the first one to get there. Trying to put some pressure. Yeah. He's taken 2 hits already, or he's landed 2 hits against back all scouts. So once he gets to the field H, should be able to finish this without too many issues. Well, Backwall is trying to bank on the hill over there, but he's not going to be able to do it, and he actually walks away. It's going to result in 1 more hit. There we go. The scout walks away, but in the end, there's no way for Backwall to get a better engagement over here, even if he takes the hill. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the red player just sticks to it, right? And it's fine. Sneaky jog coming in from Backwall and Whitecourt. He's got a transfer ship already. Realizing about it, and he's like, hey, lady, stop. Stop. Don't do it. Transfer ship is just taking a look at it. Hey, police. Yes, I was talking about the new features from Spectator Dashboard earlier on the stream today. I was noting mainly that it now detects tournament matches from recorded games. Oh my god, guys, this stuff is so annoying. I just hate getting sick. You know, and the thing that really frustrates me the most about this is that we got sick, my flatmate and I, for using public transportation for Christmas to go across the city. And the bus was packed and everyone closed all the windows. Nobody was wearing a freaking mask. We were the only 2 idiots wearing masks still. And yeah, I read some research that said that it kind of helps prevent you from spreading it if you have it. Not COVID necessarily, but like any disease, airborne, right? Like cold, maybe a flu, perhaps. And yeah, honestly, that I'm not a virologist, so I'm just going to shut. I'm just going to shut up and not pretend like I know anything. But it was very frustrating anyway. Could you co-cast with Dave? I could if he wanted to, if he was up to it. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if he's co-casting with anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if he was co-casting with T90, given that this is T90's tournament and it's such an iconic duo. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I would not be able to co-cast with Dave or with anyone for that matter, because I am muted myself all the time to cough, to sneeze, and I don't have it set up for the same hotkey for Discord, so I would have to set that up maybe. But last time that I tried to synchronize Discord with OBS in terms of when both are muted and when both are streaming audio, it's never really worked out, so I'm not really sure. I would have to test it outside the stream. But yeah, right now it's just going to result in Dave's stream hearing me cough all the time. This pressure coming out from back Koala. Managed to get 3 fire galleys out of the dock, despite the fact that Whitecourt's got 2 docks to work with. Still looking very good for the bull player. Let's get parity in a fire galley count on the demolition raft. Ah, does not manage to land a good shot over there down the south. I'm gonna see Whitecourt put some pressure with archers. He's the only player to have gone for land units. If you take a look at back Koala, he doesn't really have an archer range or a stable. For that matter, he's got just a barrack, so he is thinking of going for land, but that's probably going to be once he goes up to the castle edge. He's got very, very close to enough resources to click up. Let's take a look. How does that work, Happy Leaves? Freaking sorcerer. Noah's watching a reg. Whitecourt playing as Malay versus back Koala playing as Japanese. Huh. It honestly seems like just sorcery. What you do with the spectator dashboard. It's incredible. I have no idea how on earth you would ever recognize somebody spectating a rec and then be able to associate that rec to a tournament. Stream title, probably? I guess maybe a combination of stream title, computer vision, to see if somebody is using Capture H, perhaps? I guess. I don't know. That seems like it will be kind of expensive computationally, though. Beautiful. Yeah, so far, Whitecourt's been able to defend himself just fine. He's managed to stay ahead in worker count as well, despite the fact that he's taken the most worker losses so far. But back Koala will be the first player in the castle age by quite a bit. So much so that even if Whitecourt clicks out to the castle age right now, he will only be at a 1 villager lead once he gets there. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad for back Koala. Mind you, Whitecourt does have wheelbarrow though, so his economy is going to be a little bit stronger. but he's now banking for the most part on fishing for food. As opposed to farming, right? So wheelbarrow is not going to be quite as impactful in this economy. For Siege Workshop on the way now for Bad Koala. Here we go. Beautiful. Castle Age is here, ready for Whitecourt. Didn't take too long for him to get there. Bad Koala did get enough time to get a second dog up, however, so he should be able to still keep on putting pressure over here. The interesting thing, though, is you would expect the Bull player to try and make a play for the War Galley upgrade. And he's not gone for it yet. At all. Nice siege push. Scorpion coming out. I was expecting to see a second mangonel instead. But because he sees the archer range garrison, you gotta respect the Scorpion choice over here instead. And there we go. He's got the fire galley. Upgraded to fire ships. So here comes Bad Koala, taking on the fishing ships, taking on the fire galleys, the remaining navy from Whitecourt. And this could be huge. If he ends up getting full control of the pond over here, then Whitecourt, he cannot keep on going for villagers anymore. He's got a transport ship, yes. There's a demolition ship over here from Bad Koala, and the Bull player is looking great. Whitecourt tried to go for a sneaky jog and got pushed away. He got denied right away, and Bad Koala is going to up the ante over here. Is going to make this one a little bit more interesting. We're going to have a 4-game series by the looks of it, at the very least. Check. Yeah, there we go. Good defense overall. Whitecourt is able to take the siege down. Yes. What does he do against Navy though? That's the question. If he loses, his bond over here won't be able to keep on going for villages anymore. He already lost a transport ship, so he cannot even transport the villages over here. He cannot keep on producing anymore. He's gonna need to go for another TC. He had a good amount of wood. He was able to get the second TC up on the right hand side. He's got some farms coming in around it. But Bad Koala, he's got the second and the third TCs on the way. Here we are. The War Galleys. More pressure against the Lumberjacks over here in Whitecourt. Whitecourt's in a world of pain. I don't know how on earth he's gonna be able to bring this game back, but without access to his own water, won't be able to do too much. With a single working TC compared to 2. Bad Koala. Which to be fair, could have kept this TC up actually and could have kept on transporting the units, but now he's going to consider the APM more important than the villager production. See a second TC coming out for Whitecourt up in the north, and now he's finally going to catch up. And villager production potential. Saludos, Noah. Excelente puntaje en cuanto sabe de Age. Feliz año nuevo. Thank you so much. Feliz año nuevo para usted también, señor. Señora, no sé. And thanks a lot. I keep on beating myself up over it because there were 2 questions that I answered incorrectly that I actually knew the answers for, but I couldn't recall on the spot. That was Madri's nationality. He's from Slovenia. And I remembered after I got the answer revealed to me where he was from, because I have 2 viewers who are big fans of him who are from Slovenia, and I was like, of course, I should have known that. And then it was a gold shaft mining, right? I knew that it was 150 wood. I think I said gold because gold was mentioned in as part of the question, and I think it just mixed up in my head trying to speak Spanish, but it is what it is, right? Even if I had gotten those 2 correctly, I'm pretty sure like every other participant is going to experience something similar as well. Senor, there we go. Nice. Have an excellent day. Thank you. Have an excellent day. You too. And a happy new year. Man, am I ever going to stop complaining about messing up my answers over there? It's just that it would have been so nice, man, to tie up for first place with such big legends, right? Well, anyway. Some pressure coming in from Whitecourt. He's gotta do a lot of damage to come back into this game. Notice he's behind by 9 workers still. If you go and take a look at the gather economy time, that's going to be a half an hour lead for Bad Koala. Who's going for the 30C now. To be fair, Bad Koala is catching up as Whitecourt. Already had the 30C up. Whitecourt's going for a tower, alright! He's going for it. See? Let's take a look. Wait, did not take part in the Jeopardy game of AOE2? Yes! They have 2 games, as a matter of fact. There was Jeopardy AOE 4th edition, which you can watch on Sullivan's Twitch page on the VODs. And there is Quanta Sabe del Age, which is How Much Do You Know About Age? And that one was in Spanish, and you can find it on YouTube, on Manco's YouTube page. Beautiful pressure from Whitecourt. He's hanging on over here though. Remarkable. Still about 40 minutes of extra gather economy time for Bad Koala, and that's not going to be the end of it, as he still has a higher worker count over here. Should be able to keep him pulling ahead. You can see the worker efficiency is even higher for the Wool player. He's not paying attention though. He's not paying attention. Now he is. He has lost 2 villagers already around the TC over there, and now we're gonna see Whitecourt try to snipe yet another veil. Whitecourt kinda get it though. Bad Koala is paying a little bit more attention. And the game, interestingly enough, has stabilized. I didn't really know in Whitecourt gonna be able to keep on going after losing access to water up in the north, but in the end, Bad Koala did not take advantage of having 1 extra TC, deleted this one, so that put both players in 2 TCs. Even if Bad Koala was a little bit ahead in gather economy time, that was interesting to see. Jeopardy. Yeah, sorry. So there was the the 4th AoE Jeopardy on Sullivan's channel. You can watch it on Twitch. And it's not only Jeopardy, but it's also gameplay too, because the players had to play a game of Age of Empires for the second half of the challenge, so to say. So if you want to see me fail miserably at Age of Empires, you can watch that. Beautiful raid. Koala is getting some of the... Not raid, rather defense over here. Koala is getting the oppressive manuals from Whitecourt down. And stabilizing his economy on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Whitecourt is completely unaffected. Back home over here, like, there's no pressure from Koala whatsoever. This is exactly what allows the player in Whitecourt's position to come back into the game. Put in pressure. And just being completely fine back home. Notice that he's going to keep his economy working. But he's got to keep on putting pressure, man. Right now, Koala is able to stabilize. He actually manages to get a higher worker efficiency in the last minute compared to Whitecourt. They should be posted on Discord. I think there is one... the two, I think the Jeopardy one is the promotion channel in the Discord server. Well, the link to Sullivan's channel is there. All you gotta do is add /videos at the end. And for Quanto Sabe de Rage, I don't remember if I put a link up or not in the news page or in the news channel. No, I didn't. But you can find it on my Twitter or Facebook pages. I have shared the video over there. Beautiful. Needs defense for Whitecourt. Also a matter of time until he's on Nelson's channel? Well, I don't know about that. Maybe? Who knows? Yeah, fantastic choke point over here for Whitecourt as well. Notice how he keeps on trying to put the pressure up. Now we see a Scorpion over here. That was a mana that would have been so juicy from Koala. But yeah, Whitecourt's gonna keep on trying to put the pressure up over here. Once again, that's the only way in which a player in Whitecourt's position is able to come back in a game like this. You just need to be messy, man. You need to wreak havoc. You need to make sure your opponent is simply unable to keep on working behind your push. And it's not been particularly easy for Whitecourt. Koala seems like he's going to end up taking game number 1 or game number 2 over here. So taking the first point for him and making this a 4-game series. We'll see. Here we go. Yeah, fantastic. Koala is finally getting some momentum over here. This is all that he needed. Whitecourt trying to get a defensive castle up over here. Does end up losing a lot of the villagers. The knight is holding on over here, taking more villagers down. It's not going to be the end of it. More villagers going down. Only one villager left over there. And not even that! The guard tower takes the villager down. So, Whitecourt has got the castle finally coming up, but it came in at a huge cost. And Koala is going to be in the Imperial Age very soon. That should be GG from Whitecourt. The moment Koala hits the Imperial Age, Whitecourt should realize There is no way back for him. Why? Because Koala is going to have so much more to work with once he gets there. First off, he already has a stronger economy. He already has a stronger military count. These knights are going to become Cavalier because he's got full pawn control over here. He can transport the units around the Cavalier, right? And of course, we can see not only that, but also Capram, Arbalesters, Trebuchets, obviously, right? And I don't think there's anything from Whitecourt to defend himself with in the Castle Age against any of that. So Imperial Age is over here for Koala, and Whitecourt calls it GG. 1-1. We'll see what game number 3 has in store for us. Let's go through the achievements first, though. We'll find a better than 5 to 3 KD ratio for Koala with an economy that's stronger for the Bull player as well by about 14,000 extra resources. 14,000 extra resources. A lot of extra economy, and then yeah, we'll have the right hand side some fantastic momentum over here in terms of society for Whitecourt. He was able to get so many villagers down from Koala. Sorry, Koala was getting some momentum over here. Whitecourt was getting punished pretty heavily. And here we go, guys. Welcome everyone to game number 3 in the series. A tiebreaker to see who gets the lead was going to be favored by match point in game number 4. And taking a look at the civilizations, the players, and the map generation, we'll see Koala on the left-hand side. Playing with Cumans in the blue color, that means he's going to have the ability to go for a second TC in the Fuel Age, as well as the ability to go for siege workshops in the Fuel Age. He also gets, in addition to that, only access to rounds from those siege workshops until he gets access to the Castle Age, but once he gets there, he's gonna get access to the Catram upgrade without having to go out to the Imperial Age. Besides that, the Cumans will also have, for the rest of the bonuses, a 75 with discount on archer ranges and stables. And we'll see for the Cuman player, for the team bonus, extra HP on palisade walls. Now it's unlikely he's gonna make use of it, of course. We already begin with the stone walls around your starting base, and Whitecourt on the right hand side instead is playing with Burgundians. Very strong arena civilization for the red player. The fact that he's making use of this civilization on this map, which happens to be his home map, certainly gives him a very, very nice prospect for this game. But yeah, Whitecourt's going to have, first off, with the Burgundians, access to eco upgrades 1H earlier for a 40% foot discount. It's going to get also access to Cavalier, the Cavalier upgrade in the Castle Age, a 50% discount on stable upgrades, and 25% higher attack on gunpowder units. Well, for the team bonus, Whitecourt also gets gold generation and the food generation from relics, not just the gold. Taking a look at the map generation, we'll see Koala get the main goal for, but this is too far away from the walls for it to get spotted by enemy scouts, and then he's got the main stone on the back, so it's going to be good. Both these resources are pretty safe for him. Secondary goal, secondary stone for over here as well for Koala. Will be a little bit harder to collect from, but he does have another secondary goal over here on the very back, so it's fine. On the right hand side, we'll see for Whitecourt, he's got the main gold on the left. He's got the main stone up in the north. Both of these resources are kind of exposed. And this gold specifically, if the bull player were to scout alongside the walls like this, he would most likely realize about this gold if he scouts with a scout in the Castle Age, right? He needs the extra vision. And spotting this gold is actually huge because we have a secondary gold over here for the red player, and if the blue player realizes about this and he was trying to go for a forward castle, which could very well be the case with Cumans, we'll see. Not fast castle or castle drop, but eventually a castle drop. If he's the first one to go for a castle at the center of the map, then we should see the blue player go for one if he gets vision of this right around here. Which would be enough for him to deny this, And if he does get vision on the stone over here, I think the stone is one tile too far away from the walls to get spotted, but if he got vision on the stone, he could go extremely greedy as well and just go for something like this, for instance, and end up denying this as well. So the map generation, by and large, I am preferring bad koalas. Whitecourt finally does have a secondary goal over here on the back that's going to get him going in case the other ones get denied, but it's only going to be for a, you know, a fairly small time. And then the secondary stone on the left-hand side is too far away from anything else to get potentially denied. So I have a question. You say also a matter of time until he's on Nelson's channel. Who would you like to see next on Nelson's channel? That doesn't need to be me necessarily. I can tell you that I have not gonna reached out for something like that, so I don't think I'm going to be there anytime soon. But if you had like a free choice for somebody, who would you like to see on Mosmoto's channel next? If I had to pick somebody, would that be? And all the big names have already been there, of course. Dave, T90, Memb, right? The Viper Hera, Tato even. I guess I'd probably like it to be... Did he have Winchester already? I think he might have Winchester already. I don't remember if I saw it. Yeah, Winchester would be interesting. Survivalist, perhaps? Survivalist could be good. Did he have Survivalist yet? Alonsana, I came back just to see that apparently Bad Koala is not playing the same game as IG. So yeah, we're still waiting for anything to happen in this game. Whitecourt is playing for the standard pass castle. Over here, 27 population is gonna go up. This is going to be a standard pass castle, actually. It feels to me like it's not going to be the case. Is it? No, it's going to be a standard pass castle, yeah. Just delayed a little bit for having to go for double bit X and for Koala. And another completely unrelated bit of news. I have to tell you that the audio interface that I bought, that it's finally here. One of the reasons that I wanted to buy this very specific model is because it's a brand new model. It came out in H1 of 2022, right? So it's a very new audio interface. Usually these products do not really come out very often, very frequently. They don't get updated. Like, you're going to see many of the most popular audio interfaces today be originally released like back in 2016 or so. So because of that, the electronics are actually pretty efficient, and you're able to power it without batteries just by connecting it to a phone. So yesterday, I got a USB-C to USB-C cable. I borrowed my flatmate's phone. It's a newer one, so it's got USB-C. And I hooked it up, and it worked. The audio interface powered up, and I was able to use the audio interface to hook my guitar in, power it through the phone's battery, and hook the headphones on the audio interface as well, and use an amp modeling application from the phone in order to practice guitar. So that was amazing. I was kind of hoping we were going to get a little bit higher on the holiday goal over here so that I would get a newer phone and I would be able to do that on my own, but it is what it is. I think next year, if all goes well, I'll probably finally be able to do it, but for the time being, it's going to be half the puzzle. But hey, it's better than no pieces of the puzzle whatsoever. My first ever memory is from sauna. We moved out of that house in 1989, so like a 34-year-old continuous sauna memory. Nice. I remember I used one of those Vox amp plugs that are battery powered back years ago. Oh yeah, I considered getting one of those. The next item in my wish list for guitar practicing is the NUX MP3 Mighty Plug Pro, it's called. It's amazing, man. It's $100, but because I live in Argentina, it's going to be more like 250. And it's fantastic because it's even more convenient. You just plug it. It's kind of like the AND box, but it's got a rechargeable battery, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got impulse response. It's got a bunch of distortions, effects, modulation, whatever you want. It's amazing, and it's got Bluetooth as well, so you can connect your phone via Bluetooth and listen to backing tracks or so, or the metronome, right? And it's awesome. It's not quite as versatile as having the phone connected to the audio interface, but it's a hell lot more convenient, so I would definitely like to give it a shot at some point. Right now, I use a 7-meter cable, so it's still kind of cumbersome to use that, as portable as the audio interface is, to actually make use of it. And Sniper there, it's going to be 1-for-1. Back Koala, he's got 2 scouts still. He pushes Whitecourt away. Here we go. Yes, sir. And then on the right-hand side, we have the second and third TCs on the way already for Whitecourt. So the players got to the castle edge very well. Whitecourt got to the castle edge very recently. Back Koala still just trying to capitalize on the second TC from the fuel age to stay ahead. And very soon it's going to be on his way to the castle edge. But Whitecourt's going to have a chance at closing the villager gap over here a little bit. Not by a lot, just a little bit. A lot of scouts though from Pat Koala. This is delaying his castle age quite a bit, and this is actually giving Whitecourt a better position because he will have longer with 1 extra TC to catch up in work account. Meanwhile, Back Koala, what he will want to do is he will want to rush the castle age himself so that he can go for the extra TC and he can keep the majority of his lead. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Ronald Rage, thanks so much for the raid. It's appreciated. Welcome. Welcome everyone. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I hope you had a good one. We're casting game number 3 between Back Koala and Whitecourt. We were just talking off topic during the fuel age because nothing was happening, but now we are getting action again. It'll be cool to see some jam streams, but latency makes it hard to play with other people probably. Yeah, it is. There are some devices for it. There's actually a custom built audio interface with an Ethernet port on it that is specifically for online collaboration, but it's got a distance limit that is obviously very limited. I think like 600 miles or something. Hey Cat Master, Happy New Year! Happy New Year to you too. Overall, Whitecourt has still struggled to catch up in work account. The LTC time counter has gone up significantly for the red players. He had to go for the scouts himself to hold on against Back Koala on scouts. Yeah, he struggled big time. That is a very good little play over there from the red player, but the mob goes down. The relic gets dropped. And do we have anything coming in from the blue player? Just the scouts. He's still on the fuel age. He's gonna get in the castle age very soon. That'll enable him to go for the monks, but for the time being, Whitecourt struggled big time. He's not been able to get a single relic yet. That might change though. He's got a spearman and the monk on the right hand side collecting one of the relics. This one is so close to his walls that he should be able to secure this one as well. So that's going to be 2 relics for sure for the red player. But you know what? That Koala gets to the castle age. And we're going to see a monastery come up. A castle right away. Okay. No monasteries, no monks. He's not trying to go for the relics. That means that Whitecourt might actually be able to get away with more than 2 relics. We'll see. Enjoy your stream. I'm super hungry. So many great content creators, but I only have 1 brain. Thank you for the follow and thank you for the follows. Everyone who's been watching the stream today for the first time. I hope you are having a good time. Yeah. Not familiar with your content, but heard good things. Yeah, hopefully. I don't have anybody throwing crap at my content around the community. Although there are people like that, you know? You wouldn't believe it. Nah, you probably would. There's people like that also in like real life. Beautiful, the speedrunner are getting some good damage done. It's gotta be careful. The castle he realizes about now. Can clean up the spearman. Yes. I typically do free-for-alls and team games, but was trying some 1v1s today. Not easy to actually try while playing. Yes, indeed. I know the feeling. You watch these players and they make the game look so freaking easy. Then you go try and play and you get like 27 out of 15 villagers idle for 30 minutes in a 20-minute game, and it's like FML. It just... Screw this game. I just cast. Nice cleanup. We still have a monk over here, Whitecourt. Let's collect the 2 relics. He's got 2 extra relics on the left-hand side to collect from as well. But where is the 5th relic? Yeah, actually, where is it? Oh, there we go. Koala is carrying it over to his monastery. He's bringing a monk over. He's got nothing to do on the right-hand side. The relics are left on the left-hand side. Let me take a look at Whitecourt's point of view. He knows where the relics are. Yes. Koala, he knows where the relics are. You'll be surprised if that was not the case until this point already, right? Koala, he will be the first player going out to the Imperial Age. This is what we always mention whenever we see Kumans on a situation like this. They will have a fairly narrow time window to work with once they are going out to the Imperial Age significantly earlier because of their much stronger earlier economy. But the moment Whitecourt gets to the Imperial Age himself and he's able to catch up for economy, for worker count, then that's when things get very, very rough for the Kumans, as they are not going to scale on this map quite as well as Whitecourt civilization. Whitecourt usually knows Arena. He is making a mistake. He has a civilization that is amazing at the early pushes, yet he has allowed the Kumans to chill. Just a big no. We'll see if he's able to hold on over here until the lead from Koala from getting to the Imperial Age earlier wears out a little bit. We have a second castle on the way, so Koala should be able to take this castle down very soon. Whitecourt's gonna be under a lot of pressure. Hey, Koala! Happy New Year to you as well! Happy holidays in general, and to everybody watching the stream as well, I hope you guys are having a good time right now. I wanted to stream regardless of TTL on the 31st because I know maybe not everyone's gonna be able to get together with the people they would rather be, and providing some company, even if online, would be nice, right? But yeah, fortunately, we do have some very nice games to cast over here, and it's not just going to be a random stream. These are the deciders. He was big in Arena during the Bully days. Perhaps he isn't that familiar with the Kumans on Arena. Maybe if he's not been playing that much Arena since D came out, that's already 3 years. Ah, dang, can you believe it's been 3 years already since DE came out? 3 years, 1 month. In the 7 days, right? I think. The game has come a long way. We're gonna be just gonna be here for Whitecourt in about 15 seconds. Koala. He's getting chemistry. He's got 1 extra attack on the cave checks over here. Does not get bracers, so chemistry is going to give him the only extra attack he can get in the Imperial Age. Farming's on the way. Leather Archer Armor's on the way. Conscription is coming up as well. Right hand side. Gas is going down. This was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. There we go. So we see Palin coming in though for Whitecourt. Alright, you know, interestingly enough, the Kimos actually get better paladins compared to Whitecourt because he does get bloodlines. The bull player, that is. So I'm not really sure about the player, but yeah, I guess it's cheaper, yes. And Koala has been banking for the most part on the kip checks, right? He's got elite kip check coming up. He's got Path and Tactics on the way as well for extra armor. As well. And there's a pikeman upgrade. Coming up, he is expecting to see cavalry because, of course, he already has vision at the stables. And he sees the cavalier coming out, so he should be expecting a big ball of cavalier or paladin. And there we go, elite kip checks a little bit stronger. 45 walls for Whitecourt. He's just buying himself some time. And he's the wisest to do it. With these cavalier, if he just comes around, the problem is that there is vision already for the bull player. Otherwise, if the red player came around like this, right, and struck from behind, that'd be fantastic. But the trebuchets are going to provide vision, so he's coming through the center. Anyway, he's going after the trebuchets right away. The paladin upgrade is only about 20 seconds away from now, but he's taking a lot of damage from the kip check over here. Might have been stunned just a little bit, but he will and now take the trebuchets anyway. There's a lot of resources down the drain for Koala. With 4 trebuchets going down, that will amount to 1,600 resources down the drain. And only after the trebuchets go down, we see the paladin upgrade connect over here. And that was all because of Whitecourt trying to rush the trebuchets to keep his own castle alive. A lot of extra paladin on the way, blast furnace on the way, and Koala. Yeah, Koala is not thinking of making a play for paladin himself, just a Halberdier. It's going to be the much more cost-effective unit. The Poles are right up there with the Turks and the Bohemians. Yeah, I remember back in the day when Poles weren't really given that much credit on Arena. Like, up until 2K, they were really good in terms of win rate on Arena, but for like very, very top tier Arena players, they were still kind of crap. And then it seems like they were able to catch up. So it makes me wonder, did they have to catch up with the rest of the community? That'd be interesting, given that they are the arena specialists. Or maybe the reason why they worked so well for 2K players earlier was different to the reason that they worked so much better now also on top tier Arena. Maybe it just took a little bit longer to truly decipher how to play it properly. I think I'm probably liking that explanation a little bit better. A lot of paladins still though from Whitecourt. It's going for elite skirmisher right now. Description, Balkan arrow. Only paladin arch armor right now, +1/+1. The reason I cannot answer the question, by the way, is because I did not really see Arena games from less than 2K players when when Poles were OP at that ELA range. I would only see top tier Arena games. So I'm not really sure what exactly is that the South 2K community took advantage of Poles for them to be quite as effective on Arena. Maybe it was something different. Maybe it was just castle drop into full night production in the Castle Age, as opposed to leveraging the stronger economy and whatnot. I think it just takes time. Like, you can be better in a bad civilization if you have played the worst civilization more. Right. Yeah. It can be the case, true. Like, the GL players often pick the Chinese on Arena. They are crap civilization on Arena, but one of the worst, but they really know the save. Yeah, well, it's good, right? You should have a chance. It wouldn't be quite as good if just because of the matchup the game would be over. Well, over here though, Whitecourt's certainly struggling, I'll tell you that much. How many kill checks do we have for Koala? 35. 35 kip checks. Gotta be careful, that's a lot of skirmishers over here. If he does not pay attention, he risks losing a lot of these units, and he is going to lose a lot of the units over here. The skirmishers are now struggling to take on the Halberdier next. Yeah, and Koala is doing a really good job replenishing his army as well. He's basically stuck around 25. Keep checking so for the last minute, even if he's been losing a lot of units. And even though the trade has been cost effective for Whitecourt, it doesn't matter. So long as back Koala can keep production going, it doesn't matter if the trades are cost effective for Whitecourt. What the back Koala wants to do over here is keep on securing the map right and keep on preventing Whitecourt from collecting the rest of the resources. For instance, the red player, we take a look at the amount of goals he's got left. He's got 2 tiles over here. These have only 200 gold left in them. And then there is this goal, which is super far, and it's going to be exposed to the cave checks in just the next minute or so. This one is already under control of back Koala. This one is, of course, beyond reach for Whitecourt. And this one is about to get cleaned up. See? Yeah, when you're left only on trash units production against a player who's got all the gold in the world, it's not good. And this is very interesting as well because this was Whitecourt's map of choice. This was this was Whitecourt's home map. Back Koala, he was able to adapt over here beautifully. As Whitecourt struggled to shut down the Cumans before they got too far away. Back Koala ends up taking game number 3 over here on his enemy's home map. Now for game number 4, we're going to see Whitecourt's remaining map as well. Let's go and take a look at the achievements before hopping out. Fantastic. For military, we see a better than 4 to 3 KD ratio for back Koala. For economy, we have a stronger economy for back Koala. Just by a little bit. 38 extra resources. Doesn't really amount to a lot. But yeah, the Burgundians over here, you would be expecting them to kind of get ahead in the later stages. That was not the case for Whitecourt over here. The map control for back Koala was absolutely magnificent, and that's going to be it for game number 3. Let's go back. While they kill each other, did you know that 2 pattern civilizations lack heresy and 2 elephant civilizations get heresy? I think I can figure out which civilizations those are, but I didn't know that, like, by the numbers like that. Yeah. Let's cross the map and the civilizations. Let's see. Arena goes in favor of back Koala. And we saw Burgundians versus Cumans, right? So that's fantastic. Let's go for game number 4 then. That should take place, if I'm not mistaken, on Golden Swamp, which is what I was kind of hoping to see in game number 3, or what I was expecting to see in game number 3. We'll see. One of them is Persians. Both categories, right? Let's go for the game, guys. And here we go! Whitecourt on the ropes needs to get 2 games in a row to take the series over here. Back Koala, on the other hand, playing with Dravidians. It's going to be on the right-hand side. And the blue color, while Whitecourt, is going to be on the left-hand side, and the red color playing with Britons. So for back Koala, with the Dravidians, he's going to have a 200 wood boost when he gets to the next stage. He's going to get a 50% discount on barracks upgrades. In addition to villagers and fishing ships that can carry 15 extra resources per trip. And we'll see for the Dravidians, in addition to all of that, also 25% faster attacking skirmisher and elephant archer units. For the team bonus, they have one. They're going to get 5 extra population capacity for each dock that they go for. So it's as if they went for a dock and a house for each dock that they go for. Meanwhile, Whitecourt, playing with Britons, gets a 50% with discount on TC starting the Castle Age, 1 and 2 extra range and foot archer units in the Castle and Imperial Ages, except for skirmisher units. 25% faster attacking, faster working shepherds rather, and then for the team bonus, 20% faster working archer ranges. So it's good. For the map generation, starting with Mr. Bad Koala. We'll see for the bull player, the main gold. Down the south, it's got the secondary goal on the right hand side. We have a secondary goal over here on the left hand side, and there is a secondary stone down the south. Well, these are both 4 tiles each, so neither is really a main gold or a main stone rather than a secondary stone. Rather, these are going to be the same. Because of this map generation, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to protect this stone. It shouldn't be too difficult for him to protect this gold for sure. This stone, it really depends, right? He can go for the walls like this or like this. This gold's going to be out of the question for the time being. The stone could be out of the question. We'll see. Berries are going to be on the back though, and he'll be fine. And yeah, I guess probably he can try to get the walls like this. Taking a look at the map generation for Whitecourt instead. What do we get for the red player? He's gonna have the main gold forward. Secondary goals on the left hand side. The secondary goal over here is down the south as well. And then we have for stone. There we are. Both stones up in the north and then on the left hand side as well. Let me take a look at this. Potential walls. Yeah, he's already been going for the walls over here around the berries, right? If he connects the walls to the edge of the map, the problem is he won't really be able to secure these resources for, but he will be able to secure the stone, the gold, and not only that, but also the woodland, so it's not a bad map generation whatsoever for the red player. It's not going to be particularly pricey for him to go for something like this, for these walls, and he will go for it. As a matter of fact, he's even connecting the wool lines together, so he could go for something like this, which would be cheaper, easier to maintain as well, and if he can get the house up over here as well, it's going to be easier to protect because it's not going to go down quite as quickly as a palisade. Yes, this one is open for the bull player. Alicia's on the way now for back Koala. In Castle H, Whitecourt could add a TC between the 2 wood lines just by the goal. That's efficiency. All right. Yeah, true. Over here for the red player. Yeah, that'll be a nice one. Even the correct side of the TC is facing the goal, so he does not get affected by the collider. Feel it should be on the way very soon for the players. Interestingly enough, nobody's going for patient ships though. We're gonna see instead the players making a play for militias. Back Koala is gonna be the first one to send the militias forward. Whitecourt. They go for 1 extra unit, and he already is keeping track of the militias from Bad Koala. So it's very unlikely we're gonna see the bull player get much of anything done over here. Simply outnumbered. So long as Whitecourt plays his cards right over here, should be able to get a better trade. So he's going to chase the militias away.
Yay.
Here we go. Oh! Actually, Bad Koala gets a good trade over here. What? That's not good. From Whitecourt, what was that? Oh lord. Hey V fan. Hi. Welcome. Who is the highest rated player over here? That's a good question. Happily Leaves actually used the match command earlier. Now it actually works also for record the game, so you can do #match and you'll get information, the information that you want. But I think both these players are pretty similarly rated. The Whitecourt doesn't upgrade enough the units, but this is not the way it should have gone. He should not have been left on 1 militia with half HP. No. He should have been in a much better position. Back all on the right hand side, he's going for a second jog, so he's getting to the field H a little bit earlier. Then on the left hand side, I didn't see a jog coming up whatsoever from Whitecourt, so it seems like he's just going to give up on the water. Or he's not even going to try and go for water, right? Back wall has already gotten 2 fishing ships out. Oh. Yeah, that was an easy game against Whitecourt. No problem. No play Whitecourt? No, the command is bugged. Somebody would have to notify Happy Leaves about it. No. Maybe in the future? Who knows? Hey, wasn't T90 playing his own league? I know that he plays his own tournament sometimes, which I guess people trust him enough to do, and I do, certainly. Usually not something that you would see on other sports usually, but I don't remember if he was playing in this one. Didn't he play it? Did he get knocked out in the round of 72? Because I started casting from the round of 36 and I did not see him. There we go. Castle H is on the way for Whitecourt, going there significantly sooner. Back Koala. Not so much. Archer range. It's already out for back Koala. He's not really going for too many units. He's got only 2 archers, but he did go for a bunch of fire galleys. This is very interesting because Whitecourt, by ignoring water completely, is going to be able to go up to the Castle H much earlier. He's sending a villager forward as well, so we're going to see potentially a forward siege workshop. No, he's going for a dog. Does he know about the jogs from the bull player? He should, right? He does. He does. That's gonna be rough. He's gonna be fighting against a much larger navy count. There we go, only 10 seconds for Whitecourt to get to the Castle H. Koala. About 10 seconds for him to be able to click up though. The momentum over here, the head start for Whitecourt is quite significant. So yeah, VFan, if you want to get dealer information about the players, you can do #match. Freaking Happy Leaves, with some sort of wizardry, was able to implement the functionality by which the spectator dashboard bot now gives you information for recorded games, for the match of recorded games as well, not just live games. Fire galley coming now, Whitecourt. Let's get a demolition raft on the way. This could be good. Yeah, the archers. The archers might end up getting picked up over here. Let's see. Here comes a demo shot and... bang! He gets the archers. Manages to chunk a lot of HP of the fire galley over there. So in the end, Whitecourt's coming out on top over here. But it's not going to be the end of it. Backall still has a few extra fire galleys. There we go. Is already on the way for Whitecourt. This should put him in a very good spot to try and catch up and potentially surpass back Koala for economy very soon. The problem is that back Koala is going to be in the Castle Age in about 15 seconds himself, and because the Bull player already has the resources he needs to go for extra TCs himself. He could potentially go for one over here. Right next to the gold, between the gold and the wood, right? And then he could go for one over here as well, between the stone and the wood. Yeah, close enough. Oh, okay. Now that's an interesting one. Forward. Alright, yeah, it's good to provide protection, it's fine. It would be kind of redundant, I guess, to try and protect 2 wood lines when the gold's already safe. Yeah, it's good. Let's see. Oh, notice that Koala. He relocated the TC foundation though. He's getting it up at the center, in between the goals. But that's very, very nice. Even if it's not a castle, it's still going to give him protection at the center. Still going to give him some control at the center, and most importantly, he's going to have already villages at hand over here, collecting extra resources. So he'll have these to still collect from if he gets pushed away from the center. He'll still have this. Doesn't need to make a play for stone though. Right now he's got only 1 villager in stone. Meanwhile, Whitecourt's already on 3 villagers in stone. He's gotten a good amount, already up to 100, right? So it's not going to take too long for Whitecourt to get enough to go for a castle himself. Every villager he goes for from this CC is going to add to the stone. There we go. Nice. Back Koala's going to try and pick the relics. Yeah, Whitecourt is not really going to have enough numbers over here to fight Bad Koala off anymore. Especially when he's only left on 1 dock and Bad Koala has gone as far as to add 3 additional docks, so 2 additional docks compared to what he had before. He's going to be at 4 docks himself. So it's only a matter of time. Whitecourt's units are going to get ejected over here. He doesn't have the War Galley upgrade, so it's just going to be fuel each Navy. If he sends the demolition rafts around, maybe you'll get some fishing ships perhaps. Ideally, he would want to go for the demolition ship over here, demolition raft over here, so that he can get as many fishing ships down as possible. And he's gonna try. He's gonna try. Koala should have vision of this because of the archer. Let's see if he pays attention though. Whitecourt! Oh! What a waste! But he still has 1 left. The villager and the fishing ships could go down and okay. Well, talk about a waste. The dock has already gone down. Well, I mean, that was so close. It could have been so juicy. At the very least, Whitecourt's still ahead in work account though, so I guess it doesn't matter that much that he was not getting some of the workers down from Bad Koala. Let's take a look at the gallery economy time. I'd imagine it's probably better for Bad Koala, right? Yeah, it is by over an hour and 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so. Because of Bad Koala having a stronger economy since earlier. But Whitecourt, now that he's managed to get ahead and work account himself, villagers, right, as opposed to fishing ships, should be able to catch up eventually. It's going to take some time. It should be able to catch up eventually. The problem is Bad Koala's stronger economy since earlier already allowed him to scrap enough to go up to the Imperial Age. As a blue player needs an extra building, he's going to wait a little bit more to click up, but he's got the university already on the way. Meanwhile, Whitecourt, not even close, man. He's got enough gold for sure. He's got a castle coming out. This is not at the center. There we are. Fantastic. Mr. Jock's coming in from Whitecourt as well. He's gonna go out to the Imperial Age very soon itself. Back Koala already has a significant head start to it though. And there we go, Imperial Age is on the way now for Whitecourt. The castle's coming out from back Koala. Whitecourt. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity to do too much once he gets to the Imperial Age, right? Back Koala. At the very least, he doesn't have a castle, so Whitecourt's not going to be immediately under pressure. We're not going to see a trebuchet queued up right away, but he will go for the trebuchet much earlier compared to Whitecourt. The castle's coming up much earlier than Whitecourt's getting to the Imperial Age himself, so the bull player is still looking stronger. Extra dogs on the way now for Whitecourt. Alright. Interestingly enough, I do understand the positioning of this castle because it's going to protect the gold, but I probably would have preferred the round here if he was going to try and claim water back. I think this is probably just a knee-jerk reaction to back Koala's current position in the game. I think he probably was not planning for this, but now he is. And back Koala, well, he's there. He's in the Imperial Age already. He has gotten the castle up before he got to the Imperial Age, so he's got the treasures already queued up. Whitecourt, on the other hand, is going for careening. He's going for War Galley. Imperial Age as well. Nice job! Whitecourt this time around does manage to get a good amount of archers down. Beautiful. There we go. Back Koala. He's got some great momentum over here with the 2 trebuchets. Should be able to take the docks down. Should be able to prevent Whitecourt from still producing any navy. He's got more trebuchets on the way as well. So long as he's careful and does not take free shots from demos. Should be able to take the castle down next as well. Oh, the trebuchets going nowhere though. What is going on here? Yeah, and it seems like back Koala is going to take this one too. Whitecourt, of course, he doesn't want to call it yet. Right now, the score is barely higher for back Koala. But you take a look at the momentum over here we have from the bull player. He's got so much more navy. He's got trebuchets, right? Significant momentum to the Imperial Age. He's going to be taking the castle down over here. Whitecourt's going to be left on one castle only up in the north. He's not been going for trebuchets himself. With Britons, he doesn't get bar cannons either, so there isn't a way back against the siege from back Koala, except for maybe some navy aggression, right? But it seems unlikely. Yeah, well, that's bad. Unit control from back Koala, though, to be fair. So trebuchet kind of deserved to go down, but it's the other two. Where are they? Yeah, one in the middle of nowhere. Going down, there we go. And then this one. Yeah, it's not being the best unit control for back Koala, though. What's going on over here? He's going for fast fire ships right now. And you gotta wonder Who fears that I actually have a place in this game? Well, Whitecourt is just going for fast fire ships. Some fires and demos should be the way to go for Dravidians. I somehow missed that. Koala taking out the docks, not the castle. That sealed it. Excellent read from him. Should be the case, yes. Hinders production right away. And the castle's purpose over here is to protect the docks, so there is no need to take it down so long as the docks are stay up. But yeah, you know, back Koala got pushed away over here. Whitecourt still managed to scrap enough units together. He's got extra docks down the south. And back Koala's struggling to keep up. His village count is not quite as high. And it seems like he did not go for quite as many docks as Whitecourt's been going for. I want the tournament played in Standard instead of Conquest. I think the Master Mega Random, Hyper Random tournaments have been like that, but Master Mega Random, the last one took place in like 2016, 2015, I think it might have been 2015. And Master Hyper Random, that took place... That did take place this year, didn't it? I think that took place earlier this year. That was a cool tournament. I provided coverage for almost 100% of it, if I'm not mistaken. Or something ridiculous like that. It was because it was a lot of matches. So you can catch it in the VOD page on my Twitch page, of course. But anyway, Whitecourt. Whitecourt is gone for Warwolf right now. He's got 3 trebuchets to work with. There's a lot to catch up for still. Back Koala's military count almost doubles Whitecourt's. Here we go. Beautiful. Whitecourt's coming back, guys. He's not going to make this one easy on back Koala. He's starting to rack up a very respectable score lead, the red player that is. There's a castle on the way for the red player. There's a castle on the way for back Koala over here. This could result in a lot of losses. Whitecourt's still looking stronger for military units at the center, I think. Not so much. Not so much anymore. Might be able to get the castle up in the end. With only 1 fast fire ship over here. Even 2, Whitecourt won't be able to deny the castle, so this is good for the bull player. Yeah, the defense is fantastic for back Koala as well, as Whitecourt ends up taking a lot of losses. Notice Whitecourt's slow but systematic pushback is finally getting him to the center, so he's gonna try and take the castle down. If he takes this one down, it's not going to be the end of it yet. He still needs to take this one down, which is providing protection to this gold, this and this one, right? He needs to take the TC down as well, which is providing protection to the extra golds as well. If he's able to push back Koala out of the center, he might be able to keep on fighting over the game over here. But back Koala is not done yet. He still has access to all the center, and then if he gets pushed back, he's got still back all over here. He's got still back all over here, which is why I thought it was so smart from back Koala to go for the third TC at the center, so that he would start collecting from these. In case he ever got pushed back, he will at the very least still have some resources on the back. But the problem is, with Whitecourt starting to pick up some steam over here, starting to get some momentum and getting ahead in military count compared to back Koala, he might just get enough momentum over here to push the bull player out of the game. He's gotta go at the center. Doesn't have too much stone though to go for another castle himself, so he won't be able to protect the center yet. Do you know that he's got access to any stone back home anymore, does he? He doesn't. The only stone that we have is going to be up in the north that he's not collecting from, and down the south he's not going to collect from. However, up in the north, we see the Whitecourt starting to get the raids going. At the very least, he's going to try and get the raids going. He's got the light cavalry. Yes, fantastic line of vision for those units. Few missteps in the latest stages of the game for bad Koala. Yeah! How about Whitecourt to take game number 4 when it seemed to be the case that Whitecourt was out of the game just 10 minutes ago? Without even going as far as 20 or 50 minutes ago. No, just 10 minutes ago. Very recently, Whitecourt seemed to be completely out of it, but he was able to push back over here. Wow! Bad Koala. This is game number 4. This is going to be the equalizer then. And then, for the 5th game, we are going to have, I believe, one of Bad Koala's maps left. Let's take a look at the achievements before going back. Jumping into the decider. The decider or the decider? For military, a very good KD for Whitecourt, better than 3-2. For economy, we see a stronger economy. Whitecourt collecting about 18,000 extra resources. Society looking better for Whitecourt as well. Took the fewest losses, right? Produced the fewest villagers. And got the most villagers at the end. Took the fewest losses. And we'll see what we get for game number 5. There we are. Game number 5 is here. Back Koala on the right hand side playing with the Mongols is gonna get 40% faster working hunters, 30% extra HP on light cavalry, hussar, and step lancer line units, as well as 25% faster attack and cavalry archer units. And for the team bonus, 2 extra line of sight on scout line units. Meanwhile, Whitecourt is playing with Berbers. He's chosen to go for the African over the American civilizations over here. So what do we get? It's gonna get a 15 and 20% discount on stable unit production in the Castle and Imperial Ages. Now that's going to help compensate a little bit for the somewhat weaker economy he's going to have early on. Even if his villagers do work, or actually do walk 10% faster, sorry. The Mongols are going to have a very strong economy. Extremely hard to keep up with if you are playing a different civilization because of the fast working hunters. And the Berbers instead are going to get the cheaper, stable units of the Castle Chon Wars. Now, he needs to survive up until this point, and we are very likely to get a bunch of feudal aggression over here, and the Mongols are a very interesting civilization, which will get extra food to work with. Potentially, they'll be able to go for extra scouts compared to the Berbers in the feudal age, but it's usually going to come at the expense of exposed economy, because if you take a look around the map, where's the hunting? There's no hunting over here. It's just what you start with, right? I'm confusing this with something else. So we have some... Oh, yeah, we have 2 patches over here. So he doesn't have any extra hunting around the map, but he does have 2 patches of huntables. But yeah, that is to say, the Mongols could potentially get a stronger economy, and they will most likely get a stronger economy to go for extra scouts in the feudal age. But once you get to the castle, if you're able to survive as Berbers, you will have much, much cheaper cavalry production from the stable. Besides that, the Berbers, for the team bonus, they also get access to Genitor, and that's gonna be about it. Like, Belarusia is Waraja. I learned this some years after I started using my nickname. Is that so? That's also why it's pronounced differently. Right? Bailo versus Bielo. I think it's pronounced like that, right? Belarusia. The tests have indicated that in a straight line, the Berber villagers can live 85% longer than a generic civilization's villager. Yeah. I don't remember exactly how much of a standard tiny map size they would be able to traverse before they go down eventually to the board, but it was quite a bit. Was it like 40% or something? Belarusia or Belarus? Yes. I don't know if you want the actual pronunciation of Russian, but we're wrong. Yeah, probably, but if it's used in English and I can stick to the English pronunciation, it's fine. It's fine, so long as it's understandable by viewers, it's fine. We didn't really take a look at the map generation too much because we're talking geography, you see. Let me check this. So the main goal is going to be up in the north for that Koala. Secondary goal is down the south. Then we're going to see the main stone on the right-hand side. Secondary stone on the left-hand side. Should be able to secure himself by going for something like this, here to here. Something like this as well. And then probably towards the edge of the map, just because it's going to be so hard to wall around the baba trees. He would, if he does end up going for something like this, be able to secure this wall line, which is fantastic. Be able to secure this stone, this gold as well. But the secondary stone forward, the secondary gold forward, and the berries are going to be exposed for sure. Left hand side. Whitecourt. Yeah, he's got what do we get over here? There we go, foliage is here for back Koala. Yeah, for the red player, he's already been going for the walls. So no point in us going through what he could potentially go for. In the end, he does end up securing one main gold over here, or the main gold down the south. We have the secondary gold over here. He secures the main one on the back. And then the secondary stone is going to be on the left-hand side. The main stone is going to be on the right-hand side. Both of these will be away. So it's interesting. Whitecourt has kind of built a little hideout for himself. Yeah, he's just going to try and play for... He's going to try and play for, actually. That Koala is going to be in a much better position. He's already been collected. Bold patches of huntables. He's got the stable already up. He's got into the field age much earlier. Got already 2 scouts out and 2 additional scouts queued up. Meanwhile, Whitecourt's just hiding. Where's the scout? Yep. Until he gets to the field age, and now a stable is coming out finally. Nice quick walls. I don't think this was... No, this was not open. Maybe not so much quick walls. It's just a house. Yeah. There we go. I like to know that there are baobabs, my second favorite trees. After the birch trees, right? Oh, you know, one of the things that I wanted to learn what to do or how to do in 2023 is I want to learn how to mod the game properly. Because I want to make a custom trees mod that's going to adapt to all the different trees and different sizes, as opposed to having just a blanket small trees, medium trees, which decreases by a percentage the size of each tree. But sometimes the trees are still left too big, and sometimes they are very small. Like for instance, this one, it's almost like a small tree. But this one, it's almost like a normal, like pine tree, without any mods. So I would like to try and fix that. And if I end up learning how to mod the game, I could try and make a pyramid mod. So instead of having the cube mod, I mean, you're still going to have the cube mod available, but instead of having cubes, you would have pyramids, because it's easier to see behind them. While for the cubes, it's still going to be difficult in certain situations to see behind the cube itself. With a pyramid, I think that would get solved. Either pyramid or just like basic shapes with basic textures, perhaps. Could be good. An advanced cube mod, you say? Yes, indeed, a 5-phase cube mod. How about that? Maybe not even 5s, maybe even just 4. The scouts coming out from back Koala. Won't be able to do too much. The spearmen from Whitecourt are pushing back Koala away, and the Mongol bonus over here, the Mongol lead that we were talking about earlier. It's not going to be enough to guarantee a better trailing. You know what? Back Koala's kind of let go a little bit. It's got 6 scouts right now. Whitecourt's got 8 scouts. And in terms of overall economy, Back Koala actually does not have any extra resources compared to Whitecourt. So this is very interesting. Whitecourt has been able to mitigate for the Mongol bonus. Explain yourself again. I can do that when the game stabilizes. We don't have impending damage. But I think you'll find the idea quite interesting. In hindsight, it seems kind of obvious, like why didn't go for that in the first place, but a lot of things are like that until somebody thinks about it. Or until somebody goes for the first attempt, right? Here we go. Seems like Back Koala won't be able to get too much damage done to speak up. Beautiful. Back Koala might be able to breach through the layer of walls over there, but still we have houses here. Whitecourt's gonna be fine. It's got a good amount of scouts, so 10 scouts, 4 spearmen. He can try and take the engagement, and Back Koala, he should bail out of here. There is no way this is ever going to go in his favor. Even if he's got 5 archers over here to work with, he is gonna get trapped over here. That is an atrocious location for Back Koala's army, and he has vision of the scouts over here, but still, he won't leave. Okay, there we go. Let's see. The archers are coming forward. That is not the way to go about it. We have the spearmen coming up over here as well, but the archers are not going to get too much damage done over there. The scouts are not really attacking from Whitecourt, though. And now they are, but they were already taking a lot of damage, and the archers might actually suffice over here to allow the Will player to take the engagement. And you know what? I think Whitecourt might have butchered the approach over there. The archers are finally going down, but still, Back Koala, he's got a comparable amount of scouts with good unit control, might be able to come out on top. Whitecourt pushes him away, though. There we go. That was such a close call, and that should have been a clean up from Whitecourt for the most part. Maybe losing 2, 3 scouts. He ended up losing so much. Well, Back Koala walks away or runs away. Goes back home with his tail between his legs. He is just fine. He's got 4 extra villagers to work with compared to Whitecourt, who's going for wheelbarrows. So that's going to even grow in a minute. Now, this is bad, though. There's a hole over here. This is a perfect example. Alright, there you go. Okay, so the scouts get pushed away from Whitecourt. He's gonna try to go around. Remind me of this. I'll be off for a few minutes, so even if the game ends, please wait a little bit with my explanation. I'll hit you up when I'm back. Yeah, okay. This is the last game of the series, so even if the game ends and you're not back, yeah, I'm still going to keep the game open until the next series gets shared. The first series was about an hour and 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. This one seems like it's over 2 hours already. It's a full one, yes, and yeah, even if we have a full series for the third set, yeah, that should leave me with enough time to get ready. Actually, not really sure. Yeah, to get ready for New Year, of course. There we are. Castle H is here for Whitecourt. Castle H is here for both these players. We have Step Lancers for back Koala he's been going for. Whitecourt. He's got some camels on the way. Here we go. Bad Koala's units are getting too numerous for Whitecourt to fight against. And so far, Bad Koala has been able to get a good amount of units, but he's been unable to get too much of anything done with them. Meanwhile, Whitecourt is able to defend himself just fine. He's got a second TC on the way, but he's going to be playing catch up. Bad Koala, he already has a second TC up. And very soon he's going to have enough resource to go for third TC as well. Now, what I'm very curious about, though, is given the fact that Bad Koala is collecting stone quite heavily, I don't think that's going to be for the extra TCs. I think it's going to be for the castles. And what would be a good location for the first castle for the bull player? Well, there's a TC over here that if you take a look at Bad Koala's point of view, he is completely ignorant of, so he wouldn't be able to target this one. No. Here you are. Beautiful. Whitecourt's push. It's looking strong. He's managed to get over twice the military units right now compared to Bad Koala. A bunch of the Step Lancers went down over here. Bad Koala's going down to 5 Step Lancers. Gonna try and make a transition to camels right now, but Whitecourt is going to be kind of in a similar spot compared to where Bad Koala was before. Where right now, Whitecourt's got more units than Bad Koala is going to be able to defend against, even if the units are technically countered by what Bad Koala is going for. Earlier, we saw Bad Koala with a good amount of Step Lancers, enough so to overpower the few camels the Whitecourt have been going for up until this point, but eventually it was strong enough for Whitecourt to get a better engagement. Now we'll see if that's the case for Bad Koala in the future. He's going for camels. Right now he does not have enough to fight Whitecourt's army off, but if he does get, let's see, there we go. If he does get to a good amount of camels, he should be able to take a better engagement, similarly to how Whitecourt took a better engagement around the hill earlier. Cats is coming up. What is going on? Bad Koala finished building it, man. Here we are. Beautiful. Bad Koala is finally getting to the numbers he needs to defend against Whitecourt's army. Whitecourt's going to keep on going for full night production. It's got triple stable right now. Production coming up. Bad Koala. Bad Koala, you know what? I said that he might be able to get there soon. I was dying. He's not going to get there anytime soon. Even if he's got 2 stables over here and he's going for the 3rd stable. Actually, he does have 3 stables. No, this was not on the way. Even if he's got all the stables to go for camels over here, the discount the Whitecourt gets tonight seems like it's going to be enough to warrant better trades for Whitecourt anyway. So Koala instead is opting to go for Mangledy. The problem for this though is with 1 castle only to produce from, it's unlikely he's ever going to get to the amount of Mangledy he'll need to fight Whitecourt's units off, especially as Whitecourt's going to keep on producing from all 3 stables. Here we go. Overall, fantastic. Whitecourt should still be able to come out on top, but it's not going to be particularly close. We don't have enough camels over there for Koala. And the Berber spam is real. Could try to come in. Only a few Mangledy left for Koala to work with. Whitecourt, honestly, even if he took the losses over here to conversions, right? 3 knights converted over there, it would still leave him 22 knights forward. He's got 28 total. And he should be able to take care of those converted knights easy. Should be able to keep on pushing, right? And potentially even get the TC down over here. It could be just a power move from Whitecourt. He's being cautious though. He's not being a bothead like me. There we go. On the right hand side, we have a little raid coming in from Whitecourt's Knights. Maybe more than a little raid though. 1, 2, 3 villagers, 4 villagers, 5 villagers going down, 6 villagers going down even. Yeah, the TC is going to stay out for the time being, but once again, if Whitecourt just was a little bit bolder, he could just send all the units in, take the TC down, potentially go over the second TC over here on the right hand side, or third TC over the right hand side, and take it. Oh, but he's ready up in the north though. That's another TC with a lot of exposed economy as Koala pays attention too late to save the majority of the villagers. See about 8 villagers going down over there. Whitecourt's Knights get cleaned up. He's already gotten so much damage done. Koala is down to 88 population, while Whitecourt is 43 population higher. Higher than that even right now. Eh, not so much, not so much. Beautiful. Whitecourt is going to get cleaned up over there. Still has enough knights to get the push going. This is not the best though. The problem with Whitecourt is that he's been trying to do too much with too little. For the most part, he's been able to get some good damage done, especially on the right hand side. But if he had pushed once again with a single push, a single force over here, bring all the units together and just go for it, there is nothing that Koala can do about that. In the end, Whitecourt was trying to overwhelm Koala by splitting his army up into smaller groups, or splitting some smaller groups out of his main army, rather, and go around. But it's not really worked out too well so far. Despite the villagers he got on the right-hand side, he did end up losing a big chunk of his military, right? He's still ahead, though, but it's not going to be quite about as much as he could be at this point. 26 knights lower than what he had before. The castle's going to make it a little bit easier for him to keep on pushing. Beautiful push from Whitecourt still. Yeah, the numbers very much favor the red player. out of cautiousness, and the same reason he was not going for a full dive in earlier. He's gonna wait until he clicks out to the Imperial. He's gonna wait until he gets Cavalier. And even then, I would imagine he's probably just going to use the cavalry to defend Trevs and try to take the castles down, right? As opposed to actually going forward and trying to raid around Koala's base. But should be enough for him to still take the game. It's just taking a little bit longer than what I was anticipating. Now, Koala, if he was paying attention to the score, he might have realized Whitecourt is on his way to the Imperial Age. Whitecourt is gonna be there in about 2 minutes and 50 seconds in Koala. Yeah, man, I know that this is the last game. Could very well be the case that he does not call the GG because he wants to keep on trying. Once again, decider set, or decider game of the decider set, but it'll be kind of awkward though, right? Try and come back against Imperial Berbers, who have already outproduced you so badly and are getting a boost in their discount, in their production discount. We'll see if Koala wants to keep on trying. Castle on the way now for Whitecourt. That's gonna be the third castle. Still have 2 castles for Koala only. There you go. Only 50 seconds left, guys, for Whitecourt to get to the Imperial Age. Fantastic. There we go, 10 seconds, and we'll see if Koala wants to keep on trying. The score lead is quite substantial already for the red player. Koala right now doesn't really have too much access to gold anymore. Only this one he's collecting from, so he goes on to call the GG! It will be enough! It will be enough for Whitecourt to take game number 5 and to move on to the gold league, while Koala seemed as if he was secure in the series in game number 4. With an up until that point, very, very dominant Golden Swan performance. Whitecourt in the end is going to be the one to take the series over here after coming back in game number 4 and taking game number 5 over here. Absolutely amazing series between Whitecourt and Koala. Well played. Let's go through the achievements one more time. Better KD for Whitecourt. A little bit higher than 5-3. Much stronger economy, collecting about 19,000 extra, 9,000 extra resources, sorry, for society. A villager max count that is significantly higher for Whitecourt, and a much lower loss count, with only 2 villagers going down throughout the game for Whitecourt, and Koala losing about 37 villagers or so.